All right, this is going to be a 45-15 setup. So you're working for 45 seconds, resting for 15 seconds, then you do the same thing again for 45. Then you have 15 to transition to the next one. So every station you do 2 times in a row, and then you're done with that, and then you move to the next one. For equipment that you'll need, you want some sliders. There's going to be some mountain climbers, crunches, and pikes on here. You're going to want a band for a few different things as well. There's a squat pulse, and then our abduction, and then some different weights. So you'll probably want some lighter weights. There's going to be a rear fly. So that's when like cans of soup can be good. Cans of PBR would be another good option for that. Tall boys if you're a little stronger. And then you want more medium weights. So we've got a lateral lunge with a reach. So going down, pressing overhead. And then single leg RDLs too, where you're going down here. That can be 1 weight or 2 weights or 1 heavy object you have for that. So that's the setup, 45 seconds work, 15 rest, 2 in a row, then move to the next one. We're going to start out with the world's greatest stretch, so a little more of a warm-up mobility type move. Coming up in about 10 seconds here. So you get this long stride position, one hand down on the floor. Your inside elbow reaches down towards the inside of that front foot. Then turn and reach up, straight up towards the ceiling. Then you get both hands down to the floor. You're going to rock back, getting a good stretch in your hamstring here on this front leg. Hold for a few seconds. You can hold it longer if you want to. And you can alternate legs, or you can just stay on one side for each 45 seconds if you want to.
15 seconds out, guys, in this movement pattern. If this feels good and you need a little more time on here, feel free to stop the video, do a couple on each side, and then resume. We'll take 15 seconds to rest here momentarily, and then we'll do another 45-second bout of the same stretch. I know Ben explained it, but if you missed it, this is the 45-15 format. So 45 seconds on, 15 seconds off, twice per exercise. We'll go through a total of 19 exercises and then have a few stretches at the end. So this does count as our first exercise. The next thing coming up is going to be skaters. It's not a mini skater. We're not reaching down towards the feet with the hands. We're just clearing some lateral distance side to side. 5 seconds out.
So you want a little bit of space for this one, so make sure you clear the room. Make sure you know what kind of surface you have to land on too, so you're not slipping as you hit the floor. But you're trying to cover some distance, so it's side to side. Letting those hips rotate a little bit so that back foot is going to come around. And if you need to tap off the floor with that back foot, that can be an option, but the goal is to not use that back foot at all and just work on the balance on that one leg. So sitting into it, soft landing, and then pushing back the other direction. Always trying to be real quiet as you come down to the floor. 12 seconds to go on these. But these should get the legs moving around a bit, the hips working, and get that start getting that heart rate up to 5. Good, 15 seconds to recover. Yeah, remember to breathe on these too. Down in 2, 1. And the more distance you cover, the more challenging you can make it, and the more you have to control that landing. Good breath every rep or every other rep. 18 seconds to go. Next one's going to be a suitcase crunch, so you'll be down on the floor on your back. 10 seconds left here. 3, 2, 1, and good. So suitcase crunch is coming up.
In this exercise, guys, pin your low back down tight to the floor. Draw up in a crunch position. Hold that tension in the core statically and roll side to side through the obliques. Ben's got a good demo, kind of reaching for those ankles or heels. You can move the feet in or out to whatever's appropriate. If it starts to bug your neck, you can support your head lightly, but not drawing up on the head. Keep that same pattern in the obliques. Heavy crunch, roll side to side. 5 seconds out. If this is too much in the neck, similar movement to substitute would be a plank with hip rotation. They both have a little bit of that hip wiggle. If you're focused on the oblique, it should be reasonably aggressive. Real tight hold, swivel side to side. The next thing you'll kind of want light weights for, or those soup cans that Ben mentioned, a single leg rear delt fly on the back side of this. 15 seconds out. Five. Good, grab your light objects. It's a single leg position.
So pretty much a single leg RDL posture. So nice straight line from the back of the head, down the back, down the hips, down that back foot. And then with the weights, you're pulling up, maybe a slight bend in the elbow, but you're trying to keep those hands pretty far apart. Pushing the chest forward, squeezing your shoulder blades together in that top position. 20 seconds to go. Making sure you're not getting a lot of tension up into the neck, so we're not shrugging with it. We're pulling those shoulders down away from the ears and then squeezing back. 7 seconds to go. And you'll switch it over to the other foot. Alright, so sink back down into that single leg RDL position. You got a little bend in the front knee. A lot of stability on that down leg and hip. Good core work the entire time. And then a lot of posture there, working the back of the shoulders and the upper back. So 25 seconds to go. Next one's gonna be a lateral lunge with a single arm reach. So you're gonna want a medium weight or a weighted object here. 10 seconds left on these. Looking down at the floor. 4. All right, good.
As Ben mentioned, a lateral lunge with an arm reach. Weight stays in the stationary leg. You can take an overhead press as well there if you have something you can press. If the object is a bit, I don't know what word to use, crazy to press overhead, don't. Like if it's a milk jug or a laundry detergent, you're gonna smash yourself in the head, then don't. Just reach across the body, stand tall, knee tuck. But if you can't reach the down leg, the one that's absorbing the impact, little ninja kicks are okay as well. 15 seconds out. 10. That right leg stays long, knee drifts back. Nice big hamstring stretch. 2. Little air. If you're using a child or something, use 2 hands, and then you might not overhead press. You can take a 2-handed approach towards that leg that's being bent and come up the chest. You don't have to press overhead. You don't have to single arm. If you've found some dumbbells from a store nearby, fantastic. You'll replicate this motion. 30 seconds out. If your stability is not fantastic, don't worry about the knee drive. Just put the feet side by side. 10 seconds. Next thing is going to be a squat jump with a pulse at the bottom. 5.
So a really good landing on these, just like with any of our jumps. If you're in a position where you can't do jumps for whatever reason, you can stick to squat pulses, kind of simulate the jump at the top by getting up on the toes. But if you are jumping, it doesn't need to be a huge jump, just enough to get a little clearance and then sit back down into it softly. You get that pulse at the bottom, so kind of half rep at the bottom. 15 seconds to go. Knees are always staying pushed away from each other towards the toes, not caving inward. 6. 5. Catch your breath a little there. These ones should get the legs burning. Go back on in 2, 1. So same thing, butt's going backwards. You land initially on your toes, but you do sit back into it and let those heels come down at the bottom of that squat. "25 seconds to go. Consistent breathing. Usually with every jump, if you get a good exhale, that's a good rhythm to get into. Last 10. Next one's going to be a quad plank with a shoulder tap. So that's going to be down on the floor, down on your hands and your toes. 3, 2, 1.
Nice little knee hover, guys. The shoulders are 90, hips are 90, knees are 90, ankles are 90, knees are hovering off the floor. The wider your feet are and the narrower your hands are, the more control you'll find. If you want it to be a little more aggressive, you'll kick the hands a bit wider without necessarily moving the feet, or narrow up the feet. But you're doing about all you can to keep the hips stable. 10. 3, 2. Ben's got a side view here. Shoulders 90, hips 90, knees 90. Slight hover. Try to anticipate that load before you get there. Shift the body, pull the hand. And think about a beverage on your back, kid friendly or not. Try to stay rock solid through the hips. Nice tight core. Easy breathing. 20 seconds out. The next exercise for us is a full sit-up. We'll be on our backs. 10 seconds.
5. So at the sit-ups, you can keep the knees bent, or you can extend your legs a little bit more. Some different options with the arms. You can use the arms to swing just a little bit to initiate the movement if you need to, but otherwise just keep those arms reaching up, or you can keep hands across the shoulders or chest. Trying not to use the upper body to assist on that, only if you need it. And good control as you come back down to the floor. So never just dropping from that top position, but actually use the core to eccentrically go back down. 7 seconds left. Feel the abs?
You asking me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Back my calves.
Should add some fast feet into this one.
Oh no.
So 30 seconds to go here. Nothing should be too fast on the sit-ups, or really just about any core exercise. $15 to go. Next one's going to be a single leg RDL. So you're going to want either 1 or 2 weighted objects that you can hold on to. And you're going kind of medium weight on those. 3, 2, 1. Good. Keep working our way through the circuit.
If you guys have one heavy weight, I would hold it in the same arm as the leg that's going to be in motion. If you've got 2 heavy weights, use both weights. It's a good demo. Long from head to heel. Ben's left leg is in motion. His left glute is tight. He's almost leading with that heel and the leg and then following through the torso. The right foot carries most of the weight in the right heel. Just hinging down, stand back up. Don't worry too much about the depth of the movement, but stay tight, long spine. Find a little glute, little hamstring, stand tall. 15 seconds out here. 10. 2. That's good, shake it off, stand tall. Switching legs in a moment, 10 seconds out. 2. Some people have a disconnect between their rib cage and heel, where that rib cage starts to go first or the heel stops moving and then the chest continues to fall. Make sure your body's long from head to heel and everything's moving at the same speed. 15 seconds out. Some people might get that heel high and then the chest continues to fall. It makes them feel like they got more depth, but the tension of the hamstring doesn't necessarily increase. So feel the stretch and stand tall. 3, 2, next thing, you'll need discs. It's a 45-degree mountain climber.
So bring that knee across the body. Head can turn a little bit too as you come across. If you don't have sliders, you could do these with your feet just on the floor. But a lot of core tension, so your abs are working to help pull that knee across. You got a good amount of weight up on your shoulders, your arms. And just good breathing throughout every rep or every other, depending on your tempo. 10 seconds to go. Last 5. Go back on in 3, 2, 1. And by keeping a good amount of weight in that upper body, you're able to slide those feet pretty easily. $20 left. This one gets tough. Just got to keep grinding it out. Another 12 seconds. Last 5. All right, good. Next one, music. Yeah. So plank jacks coming up next here. So you have your elbows, and then there's a few different options from here depending on your level, how you're feeling.
Can be that pop, 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 pop like Ben is now. If that's too much in the feet, the toes, the shins, the knees, the hips, a plank with lateral foot tap is a good alternative movement there. 15 seconds out. 10. 5. Good guys, a little air. If you can get away with a couple plank jacks and reducing or regressing to that plank with lateral tap, that's great. If the plank lateral tap is your go-to, stay there. 2. Here we go, same thing. And if you have neighbors underneath and that foot impact is louder than they might want it to be, then you might plank with lateral foot tap as well. 20 seconds, well over halfway. The next exercise is going to be a lunge pulse jump. So we'll be on our feet here. 10 seconds. Nice big lunge base, and then hit a pulse and hit a hop.
So with that pulse, you're looking at about a half a rep. Sinking down into it once you get that hop, and then you come down and get low. And like with everything else, if you can't get jumping in there, you can at least get a good push up through the toes and kind of pretend to get that jump, and then add the pulse at the bottom. 15 seconds left. 7.
6 legs.
If you don't, you'll probably be able to tell pretty quickly. So you're loading more weight onto the front leg. That's the one doing the majority of the work. Back leg has a little push, but you don't want to be doing a lot with that one. 25 seconds to go. 15, and then your next one's going to be a hand walk to push up. Coming up in about 10. 4. All right, catch your breath, 15 seconds. Hand walk and push-ups. Here will be this one.
We've done this one before, but if it's your first time seeing it, we're gonna hand walk out, but not too far out to that push-up position. You can do 1 to 5 push-ups once you get out there. It's up to you. Fly through a couple push-ups, or just use it as an exercise, just to kind of get extended out there in space. Drop into knees is also good. 15 seconds. So again, not too far overhead, just out, push up, a couple of them, hand walk back in, take the hamstring stretch, rest for 15. Two, same idea, out to push up, hit your push up, get your lats tight. Given it's just 1 to 5 push-ups, make them crisp. Walk out there. If you're not usually a push-up from your toe type of person, you might just do one real good rep, hand walk back in. Treat it as a really good single. "20 seconds out. Our next exercise, you're gonna need a band. We're gonna band squat pulse. The band above the knees, avoid the kneecaps, not too high. Just above the knees. 5. Find your band. Get it on fairly quickly.
So with the squat pulses, you're not trying to stand all the way up at the top of each one. So it's more of a constant tension, a good burn in the legs, more than you get if you were standing up. You gotta stay in that bottom half of the movement. And as always, when you've got that band on, you are trying to push into the band, push your knees away from each other. Got 12 seconds to go. Last 5, breathe in. And good, let those legs and those hips relax. You need to. So 25 seconds left here. Good balance on the feet. So you got a lot of weight in the heel, but you're still keeping those toes pushed down too. Quads burning a lot. Glutes should be burning a lot. Another 10 seconds. Now let's switch. 2, 1, and you can keep that band on. And you'll keep it in the same spot, so over the knees.
This abduction extension hold we do in class. Separate the knees. Push that foot maybe 45 degrees off the body. Should be a lot of glute activation, both sides. Especially coming off that band squat pulse. The leg that's extended, make sure it's extended, it's long, right? Push through that heel, get that glute active. Body should stay long and straight. 15 seconds out. 8, 3, 2. Stand tall, shake it out. Same thing other side. We'll have a side view from Ben. We'll watch it as right leg stays long. The right heel pushing up and back. Right glute is tight. A lot of weight in that left heel, his stable leg. But the goal here is to separate those knees. They drive that leg back. Both sides should get pretty warm pretty quick. Try to control your breathing. Your upper body can stay relaxed. It's long, yes, but don't hold extra tension if you don't need to. The next exercise, we're going to go into a valve slide crunch to pike. That's that crunch in and then a slow release out. You'll need the discs and a little bit of courage. 10 seconds. 5, so we'll take the bands off in 3, 2, band off, find your discs. Feet in the middle.
So a lot of weight up into the upper body. You pull those knees in, see that crunch. Then you lift the hips up, eccentric pike. Then when you're back to that starting plank position, you pull those knees forward, get that crunch again. And you're really thinking about using the abs as much as possible on this. Don't just rely on the hip flexors. We want abs to be doing the majority of the work. 18 seconds left. And depending on your mobility and your level, you may just keep it a knee tuck both directions so you don't have to get that big lift up with the hips. But see how it feels, see what you're capable of doing. 5 seconds. So going back on in 3, 2, 1. Same thing, get that knee tuck, so that crunch, pulling up, hips lift up. Good stretch in the hamstrings too. The more flexible your hamstrings are, the more you'll be able to get those hips up. So some of you might not get them very high. "20 seconds to go, and you're keeping that upper body loaded a lot. Allows you to slide those feet. Last 10, then we're going to be on a static dead bug for the next one. So you're going to be on your back. Another core 1. 3, 2, 1.
We just went quite a bit, guys. Low back stays driven down. Legs are extended. Arms are extended if possible. Try to keep that rib cage and hip area tight. So pull the ribs down to the hips. Everything's snug. Knees can be bent for regression. You can also pull yourself out of that aggressive stance if it's too aggressive. If you feel your low back being drawn away from the floor, you're not doing it right. Back off a bit, find that low back down, and then extend. 8 seconds. 2. 1 more dead bug in 3, 2. Pop up, extend, hold. If you find yourself fully stretched out and there's no more room to roam and make it harder, come back in, start over. Try to have more control. Extend slowly. Sometimes you'll find yourself in a pattern that is, I wouldn't say cheating, but you're using things you don't have to or shouldn't. So start back over, draw it all back together, real slow extension. You might find it harder if you focus on the core. Next exercise is going to be high knees in place. 5 seconds up.
So keep good posture with this one. So from the hips to the shoulders, the head all stays in a nice straight line, but those knees are driving up. Goal is to try to get them up to hip level if possible. You're going to be mostly on your toes. And be easy with the impact depending on if you've got neighbors below you and everything. You want it to be a little bit lighter. Carpeting helps muffle the sound quite a bit too. 18 seconds left. Hands are moving in that good running position, so they're matching the opposite knee that's coming up. 8. And it's good, just keep the head looking forward. Don't try to get the chin way up or down. Good. Should feel that one by the time you're done.
You said 2 at some point. I thought we had 2 seconds left. Looks like 18.
Same thing. All right, second round of those. Don't get any easier here. Good push through those toes. Trying to maintain that same tempo. 25 to go. Left. 6. Keep it up. Keep those knees up. 3, 2, 1. There we go. Nice work. All right. Push up and shoulder tap. Last one here. My body's up all the time.
The demo's on your screen, guys. We're not reaching vertically, just across to the other shoulder. Kneeling's great. Give you a little more control. Push-up's gonna be hard, but stabilizing the body is probably more demanding for some. 15 seconds. 10. 3, 2. Check it out, get some air. One more of the same. We're going to break down into a couple stretches. 5. Just like our other plank reaches or anything similar, crawl. Try to keep those hips as stable as you can. Nice strong core, nice tight glutes. If you find it easy, pause for another second. Take that pause, stabilize the body. Think about squaring your shoulders and hips up with the floor. 20 seconds. We'll have a 15-second rest after this, and you're gonna get into that sideline 90-90 stretch. 10. 3. 2. Ben's top leg is over. Perhaps if you can, that bottom leg is attaching that knee to the floor. Keep the knee pinned, open the body up, take a reach, take a breath, come back and close. His top leg, that knee that's over the body, maintains contact. We use a blue pad to give him a little more leeway. A pillow works, a couch cushion. You can put a foam roll under that leg. If you're more mobile, which some are, having the leg on the ground is fine. You can probably even slap the floor with the other arm. If you can, slap the floor. Think about also rotating the rib cage, and so really open the ribs. Allow yourself to reach back. 5 seconds out. 2. 'Same thing on the other side. 1. Good vantage point from here. You can see a lot of things going on. It's hard to tell from this side though, but that left knee is high, about hip height and belly button height, somewhere in there. That knee, that shoulder, that arm all stays down. The hips stay still. Big chest fly reaching out, 15 seconds here, and then we're gonna go into a standing pec stretch. 10. 5. 4. Find the corner. 3. Reach the arm up and back. Roll that shoulder through. And for some of us, reaching up 45 degrees works well. Some of us raising the hand a little higher or a little lower, you might find a little better stretch. It's all individualized to you, so if you don't feel it through the chest and front of shoulder, move the hand around a little bit. You might even tuck the arm, that elbow to 90 degrees, plant the elbow on the wall, and then same idea, kind of experiment a little bit. If you're only just finding it, perhaps pause the video, give yourself 30 seconds in that position, and then rejoin us. You're allowed to do that during stretches, not during burpees or mountain climbers or high knees or any shenanigans. Trainer eyes and YouTube actually tell us if you guys pause the video, so we'll get feedback.
Oh yeah, we forgot to tell you that.
You also accepted that the video would be a two-way feed, so we know some of you guys are skipping your burpees.
We've got a spreadsheet to keep track, so can't wait to open back up.
Some of you are in debt. Just a few reps though, no big deal. 30 seconds here, guys. Our last stretch is going to be a standing quad stretch. It's sunny today. Maybe it's sunny today for you too. I hope so. 15 seconds out. 2. This will be a standing quad on both sides to finish the day. 5. Yeah, last 2 things here, guys.
Lean on something.
If you're not feeling a lot of quad tension, think about loading the core a little more. Pull those ribs down. Pull the hips under a little bit. Squeeze your bum. If you're unstable, use the wall. 20 seconds here. 10. 2. Same thing, last thing. Try to control the breathing, get your heart rate down. Don't forget some of Ben's tips as far as hydration. And the grocery store one's good too. Don't let somebody else shop for you and buy a whole bunch of peanut M&Ms. You won't know you liked them until you're about 150 in. Don't put that stuff in the house, it's bad. 3, 2. That's it, guys. If you need a few more stretches, find them. Give a little hamstring, a little neck, something. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Reach out if you need us. Any more.